So again, we got 3 bolts that we're going to use, and we're going to go ahead and throw a little more Loctite on there. Again, just a dab on there on 3 of those bolts. Just that little dab like that. And that's going to spread around as soon as we start screwing it in there. Again, this comes out real watery, so be super careful. If you put on too much, just take all the excess off. If it bleeds in between the threads, that's great. Just don't want big drops on there. So with this here, it's going to go on just like that. We have some adjustability. We just want to get it on, and then we can go ahead and do some adjustments with it. So screw goes in. Let's start with the bottom, and then we're going to put on that spacer. I'm sorry, that washer. Leave that there and go ahead and push this crank on all the way. The lower part of the Bash Guard is sitting lower than the chainring, so it's going to protect your chainring, and it's also lower than the bottom bracket shell of the bike. So we're going to hit this Bash Guard first before doing any damage to the chainring or the bottom bracket of the bike. So now I have that idea. So right about here we're making contact, so I'm going to go back just a little bit. Looks good. And then we could always take a look on the other side, make sure that we're not coming in contact with anything as well. So we just want to make sure right in here we're not making unnecessary contact with the frame. Getting this angle shot over here, looking pretty good. Nothing hitting the carbon, nothing hitting this plastic protector there. And looking pretty good over on this side as well. Definitely sitting flush with this frame, super close. But we're going to go ahead and tighten it up the rest of the way. So if anything, I'd be a little bit concerned with the flatness. As this gets tighter, it's going to get closer to the frame. I'm sure these have a torque setting. You could probably go on the MRP website, check out their tech manual and see what the torque setting is for these. If I had to guess, I'd say anywhere from 4 to 7 Newton meters. I'm going to go snug and then just a tad more. Remember, we got that Loctite on there, so if we're a little bit loose, that Loctite's going to dry and hold these bolts in place. But definitely after a build, you want to get some rides on it, and then go back and check all your bolts for every part of the bike. Make sure nothing's gotten loose and migrated loose. Things will break in. You know, we do the best we can when we build these to avoid stuff like that. All right, now we're ready to put our crankset back on. If you notice, the orange color is gone. The cover that went over it, basically a dust cover, it actually came off with our crankset. So something to keep in mind when working in the future with cranksets. You may or may not have that cover stick on or fall to the ground. Looks good, spinning, making no contact, no scrapes, everything's great. Then we can go ahead and put on our top chain guide or chain catcher, whichever you want to call it. Now there's a bolt that's going in here, so these two pieces are going to sandwich together. There's a little blue on here, but it's pretty worn out, so we're going to put some more thread locker on there. And again, there's a marker here, 26, 28, 30, and 32 tooth. I believe I am running, pretty sure I'm running a 32. But if you don't know, we're just going to adjust this to the best size we can. Get it as low as you can without touching, basically. It's like right there's a little bit high. Let's get this a little snug. Now with this design, as far as the crank, we got this crank spider, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this type of chain ring. Probably not the best application for this as far as the chain guide to crankset. You got the other style where the chain ring actually configures on closer to the arm. So that means there's less rub. So the ends of these spiders are actually rubbing just so ever slightly. So I'm kind of forced to go high just so it barely misses or does a light scrape. Not enough to slow down my spin. So here we go. The top of this guy's hitting the bottom. So we just want to clear it. So I think we're maxed up at the tallest height as we can go. So you can see right here, the ends here as I spin. Once we get this guy, it may rub. So right there I'm at high, but it might get a rub there, rub there, rub there. So particular MRP model may not be the best one for it, but it actually still works. You can get down pretty close and it'll still keep that chain on. So now's a good time to put on the chain before we put on our chain guide right here.